All right, we're in part two. That I knew that video would run out on me, but anyway, I've done the second upload. If we scroll down now, we'll see that there are 25 questions now, which is the correct number. I should have kind of looked at that before. And then if we scroll down, we will see that they're all multiple choice until we get to question 20, and then the last 5 are true false. So I can't guarantee they're the right, completely right format in there all together, but it kind of gives you a good idea that you're in a good place. So now we have got the test pool. We did have a couple of questions you wanted to add as bonus questions. We can add those individually. We'll go back to the quiz tab here where we had quiz number 1, and I'm going to quickly show you how it was set up. So if we go over here to edit test, in that one I had 2 different pools. Pool number 1 for the chapter 1, and then pool 2 for chapter 2's questions, and there were 10 for 1 and 15 for 2, and maybe the true false, I may have kind of put these in the wrong area. I'm not real sure of that, but at any rate, what Blackboard is going to do is it's going to go through this first pool, this random block, and it's going to find 10 questions. They may be in different order. Since you've selected all 10 of the questions, it's going to give you every question in the pool. You could have had 20 questions in the pool and have it only give you 10, and that way different students will get different questions. When it completes that block, it's going to start on the second block, and it's going to give you the next 15 questions in this case. And then finally, we've got the 2 bonus questions, and they are set up as extra credit questions. And how you do that when you have them in there, we'll go to the edit on them, and again, I'll show you this again. But what sets them aside is, and where's it going to be at? Okay. Well, I'm going to have to find that. When we add them in there, I'll show you where you fix that. That was just going to let me edit the question themselves. Okay, fine. I think it's right over here. There you go. I'll bring this up, and I click on this block that says extra credit, and tell you the number of points that you want. Then it counts that as an additional 2 points, not against the 50-point total for the exam. That's what we had there. So now we're going to build quiz number 2. So what we want to do is we want to go to assessment, click on test. We will then create, and we'll make it quiz 2. And you can put instructions here if you want, a description of it. You don't have to. We'll go ahead and hit submit. And this is going to be, we're going to use, again, a random block. You wouldn't have to. You could use a question set where they're all the questions the same, and that's what we're going to do here. But I always create them as a random block, so I'm going to stick to that. So we're going to click on random block. We only have, the one pool to pull from, so we're going to click on Chapter 3 and 4 pool, and then we want to click on this all pool questions, so it gets both the multiple choice and the true false questions up there. And then we will, you may have to expand this out to get it, you can get to the submit button, and we move this down. The submit button is right below the screen. There it goes. And now you can kind of see it in the corner there. I'll hit submit, and now it puts all those questions into the pool. It's set for just one question. If you want all 25 questions there, we will hit that, type in 25 here in this number of questions box, hit submit. We're then going to want to give them 2 points each instead of 10. So we're going to click over here and go 2, hit submit. Now we've got 25 questions worth 50 points. We're now going to go over and we'll add our the bonus questions in there. We're just going to create a question. I think the first one was true false, so we can put that true false right here. It's now going to let us, we can give it a title if you want, or you can just put the question in here. Let me get back over here to your quizzes, excuse me, and then find this. And the question is right here. Don't need to give it a question number. I'm going to cut this, and the answer is false. I've got to remember that. And then let me get back to that screen. So all I'm going to do is I cut it already, or copied it. I didn't cut it, and I'm paste it in. Now, as I paste it in, that had been scrolled down a little bit, so it kind of bring it back up. There's my question. Then for the answer, it defaulted to true, but the question was indicated as false. Come down here to the submit button, hit submit. That question is going to show here. We want to change the number of points to 2 and make sure we click on extra credit so it will be submitted as an extra credit question. Now for the last one, the second bonus question, we're going to go ahead and create a multiple choice question. I'm going to have to cut and paste a couple different times to get this in here. I'll go back to the question. Here's the questions. Which of the following is true about adult probation in Texas? I'm going to hop back and forth. And I'm going to paste that in here. Then it's, I believe there were 5 different answers, so I'll change that to 5. Hopefully it was 5, it might have been 6, but let me come back over here. Since we've already written, okay, it was 6. I'll have to correct that. I'm going to put my answers in here. I don't need the star. The star should be after question A. So then I'm going to come back over here, and I just cut and pasted them all into one group. Let me change this to 6 questions. And because instead of going back and forth, I'm going to just cut it here, and then I'll go down and keep cutting until I've got all of them. So just bear with me a second on this. Got B out of there. Got to the third answer. Cut the rest of that out. Make sure I get that in there right. And fourth answer. Okay, just do this 2 more times and we'll have it all done. So now I've got all those answers in there. We have to indicate which is the correct answer, and it just happened to be the first one was already highlighted, so answer number 1. So we're going to hit the submit button, which is a little bit off of your screen. We need to come back over here and make sure we change the points to 2 and change it to extra credit. And now there you have your question and your answer. The test is now fixed. There's an OK button down here. Again, I'm going to move the screen down a little bit. I'm going to click on OK, and the quiz is right here. It's not finished yet. Now we have to hit submit, and we're going to come over and we're going to make it available to the student, or set up a time to make it available to a student. We're going to do it tomorrow night, so I'm going to go ahead and make it available. I'm going to set a time frame on it in a minute. We can set it up for multiple attempts, so we don't have to worry about the issue where you had the student who was unable to finish it because it got wiped out and didn't allow them in. What you want to do, tell them they're only allowed to take it once, and if they retake it, then that's if there's a technical difficulty, allow them to retake it or something like that. I don't know what time frame you wanted on that. I think it was. Let me look at your email, see what it says. There you go. Back to the message. I've got it on a different screen. Okay, it's a 30-minute time limit, so I'll go ahead and set this to 30 minutes. Then I'll scroll down here. We're going to allow them to take the test tomorrow. So it's on the 11th. Your class starts. It's going to be at the end of class, so I'll go ahead and set it from 6:30 to the same date. It will close off at midnight or 11 or whatever, sometime after the class is over. So it will be available to them in that time frame. You can set this. You don't have to set this. You can just turn it on and off if you want to make it available. Then you come down here. I give them the test. After they've submitted the test, I just tell them what their score was, and it kind of gives them the questions, but not the answers. I give them the test one at a time. questions one at a time, not all at once. You can set that whichever way you want. There can be a deadline set. You don't need to set it in this case because they're going to be taking it in class. And that kind of is about it. So then when you hit submit, the test is set up. Now you notice it's grayed out here instead of being the full color version. That's because the test is not available yet. Will be available on September 11th at 6:30 p.m. So that's all set up. If there was an issue with any of the questions, particularly the two that I presented that didn't have the right answer in them, kind of look back and make sure those are right. You can correct them there or send me an email and I'll get them corrected. This just gives you an idea of how it's done. I know this is kind of overwhelming, a lot of information coming all at once. I got no issues setting them up for you. Just kind of wanted to show you how it's done for future reference. That will be the conclusion of this video. I will send you the link to the BYU web page that you can save, that you can use to do this uploads. It makes it a whole lot easier than actually putting it completely in their format yourself. It formats it exactly how Blackboard wants. Okay, well that covers it. There'll be 2 different video links for this, and I'll post them both in email sent back to you.